on the trainer, but a lot of trainers will actually say, don't take your dog to a dog park. Okay. Because here's the thing, right? So let me teach you a secret. So I do take dogs to dog parks, all right? Yeah. But this is what I do. So let's say you have your enclosure, right? So it's an off-lead dog park, your dogs being dogs, you know, people doing whatever they're doing, maybe not paying attention, I don't know. So what you do is all the exercises that we've been doing, you do outside the dog park. Okay. Because when these dogs are being dogs, right? So let's say, for example, you go right back to the beginning with your window, like with are you hungry, right? So you come in front, you stand, or you can start as far as you want. But generally what I do is I'll walk towards the enclosure, right where my dogs really, like, they're aware, and then they kind of want to go. And then I actually just move back a little bit. So I want them to be aware of what the dogs are doing. And then I'll go, are you hungry? And I'll present the food. They don't take it because they're very curious. Like, no, there's dogs there, right? Okay. And then I post. Like, I'll just sit down, stand on the leash for about 10 minutes. And in between the 10 minutes, like once 10 minutes passed, I go one more time. Are you hungry? Mm-hmm. Okay. If my dog's still like, no, I'm really keen on to see what's happening here, I go, all right, and I put my food away. And I stay another 5 minutes, and then I leave. So let's say that was in the morning. Yeah. The afternoon, I come back, and then I do the same thing. If the dog doesn't eat the food, they miss out on a meal. Okay, remember, this isn't starving my dog. Starving my dog's the complete opposite, where a dog's actually hungry and says, can I have food? And you say no. Okay. This is, here's food, and the dog says, no, but there's dogs here. Because this is a big temptation.
Yeah, okay? High risk one.
Very, very high. So when you sit here, usually by day 2, sometimes by day 3, most dogs, when you go, you're hungry, they'll look at the dog, look at you, look at the dogs, look back at you and go, yeah, and they'll start to take the food. Then you do your food chase games. Okay, so you go with the circle and straight lines and that. Yeah. When you're done, so you finish feeding them, give them food, sit down and post them. You can't let them run up and down because now they're full, especially if they've had a complete full meal. If the dog has a full belly of food and they start running around, you could always open yourself up to bloat.
Oh, you've told me about that.
Yeah. Yes. So we don't. So if you want to sit there for half an hour and hang out with your dog and do some conditioned relaxation like massage and all that, not a problem, okay? But the point is, I use these dogs, so they're dogs, right? They're running around and being dogs, being yelled at, barking, playing, and I'm teaching my dog that they are just not that fun. Yeah. So what you then do is you teach your dog, like, even if there's other dogs in there, they're not fun. The fence keeps him safe. And what I generally would do is I'll sit in an area where I can get away if I need to. Okay, so this is where you, as the handler, you start learning what we call situational awareness. Yeah. Okay, so you need to be able to look around you and see when dogs are coming. Okay, if you have a big field behind you, there's always a possibility that a dog can sneak up, you know, like a dog runs up from far away and comes in, right? If a dog, depending on the setup, so there's like John Hammond Dog Park down in Success, which you have a road here. So you walk a little bit, it's about, 5 meters, 7 meters, and then you have 2 dog parks. I'll sit this side where the road is, but not near the entrances.
No.
You don't sit near the entrances because that's the chance that someone's going to have to pass you to get there.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm away from the entrance. Yeah. Okay, so number 1 is I sit away from the entrance. I don't want to be anywhere near there where dogs are coming and going, because dogs can come accidentally, they can escape, that sort of stuff. So I'll usually go opposite ends, okay? And I'll sit near a road. If a dog gets out, right, and the other owner's like, Fluffy, come, and Fluffy's not coming, I take my dog and I cross the road. Okay, that's just one of the ways that we can avoid a confrontation. Okay, your responsibility is your dog, not the other dog. Yeah. Okay, if the other owner needs to train recall, that's their concern. Okay. Secondly, there's other couple of ways you can get rid of another dog, depending on what you have. Okay, some people, if the other dog's coming, so I'll actually move in front of the dog, right? Because most of the time, that dog that comes will be more interested in your dog, most of the time. Yeah. Or I will stand on the leash over my dog. So I'll put the dog in the middle of my legs, stand on the leash, right? Yeah. Most dogs, they'll look up and go, oh, okay. If the dog doesn't do that, you can then either throw something like food one way, like across their path, or a toy, squeak, squeak, throw it across their path to distract them. Some dogs don't care for the food, don't care for the toys, right? And then sometimes the other owners are like, hey, my dog's allergic. It's not your problem. Okay, that dog's coming into your personal space and you don't know what's going to happen.
No,
okay, again, right. Your responsibility is your dog.
Yeah.
Okay. If you have another one that really does work is if you have an umbrella and you open and close it. Most dogs freak out with that, just to create some space. Yeah. Okay, you do get these little devices, like I think it's called like a doggy don't, that emits a frequency and it scares the dog off. I don't know.
Yeah. Wouldn't it scare your own dog though?
Well, you've got to condition your dog. Anything that you, like a boat horn, for example, if you went, you need to train your dog to stay in position. That's correct. I like it. So even if you're doing the umbrella, you still need to think about what is going to happen with your dog.
Yeah. I find it hard to control the leash, worry about the other dog, operate an umbrella at the same time.
That's why you're standing on the leash. Yes, you see. So there are all these different options, right? And it all depends on what happens in the situation. Just this weekend, it happened where we were coming down from the beach on the path and there were like some 3 border collies and an Australian Shepherd playing, doing their thing. It got a little bit rough. There's a little bit of an argument, whatever. As we walked, the Australian Shepherd broke from the pack and came running, but he didn't look at me. He looked right past me to the dog behind me, the puppy, the young, small dog. I stepped in and actually put my hands on him, like pushed him away. Or like touched him, but he sidestepped me and actually went around me, and then there was another fight, which isn't very polite because this dog's actually being trained for dog reactivity. Okay, my first instinct is to kick him, to kick that dog, because if that dog comes into your personal space, that's not nice. Okay, again, your job is to protect your dog. Now some people will say to me, but Ariza, what if you get bitten? Well, here's what legislation says. If a dog bites a human, there's a problem for that dog. I have the right to be out in public without being harassed by dogs. Okay, I do. And if you don't know my history, right? If that dog bites me, your dog is in trouble. Okay? It's not the dog's fault sometimes. I get that. But some owners need to learn to take responsibility. If your dog bites that dog, we have a problem. Because now it's dog on dog. So your dog could be blamed. Okay, especially if you have a little dog that goes, because some little dogs do that to big dogs. They kind of tease them. I've seen it. And then the owner with the small dog doesn't do anything to their dog, right? And then a big one comes and goes, oh yeah, I'm going to get you. So there's all this history we don't know. So personally, if I look at the situation, I'm like, this dog's not going to pay attention to anything I throw. It's not scared of me. Like, it doesn't care. It doesn't even see me. I'm gonna hurt that dog. I'm going to kick him. And if I get bitten, legislation's on my side because I'm allowed out in public without being harassed. I will not put my dog at risk to get bitten by another dog and there's a fight, especially if it's a smaller dog. Okay? And then she's going to get put down. I will not do that. Okay? That's me. That's a personal decision.
No,
some dogs...
I totally agree with you.
And I will also say it depends on the size. Okay? If it's a big-ass dog, I have to be very careful. If it's a Rottweiler or a German Shepherd, I have to be very careful because that thing can cause a lot of damage. Okay? It's a personal decision. Generally speaking, I try not to put myself in that situation. There should always be some sort of exit strategy. But like you said, so people who tell me a dog came out of nowhere generally tells me you weren't very situationally aware. It's like a blind spot.
I saw that dog right at the very end, but it was hovering around its owners at that point.
So...
And Ollie wasn't yapping, he was just sniffing the poodle.
Yes.
But this thing just bound.
But they're fast.
Yeah.
Do you know? So often, about 80%, I'd say, no, it's a blind spot thing in terms of like, you might not have noticed the shift in behavior. Okay. However, there are people who will tell me, they go, I literally went around the corner and there was a dog, we got startled and then there was a fight. And it's like, well, that's like walking around a corner right into a bear. And it's like, oh my God. Or